Me and Ron dropped like 35,000 in ours, and then we roll at school.
Sure.
Okay. Arize, welcome to the Planet Bubble. How's it going?
It's going well.
Man, tell us a little bit about your sports management profile.
It's pretty simple, but still a little complex.
Simple but complex. I love it.
Simplistically complex.
All right, talk to him.
Boutique sports management firm here based out of the DC area, but not limited to.
Turn a little bit to the camera so the people can see that honest face of yours. Boutique.
Yes, boutique. But based out of the Washington D.C. area, but not limited to. We specialize in running like high-level youth basketball tournaments, which in layman's terms means like name your favorite basketball player. They had to play in certain events to be evaluated by colleges, pro scouts, shoe companies, agencies, et cetera, et cetera. We provide that platform for today's youth.
Okay. Now, when you say you provide that platform, how do you go about? Coach Tanya and I, we have youth. Mm-hmm. So how do you go about providing that platform?
Well, the youth per se would have to be on a team, and then the team would play in the event. Depending on the time of the year it is, it'd be a league, showcase, tournament, etc.
So is there an age limit or age requirement?
Once you graduate high school, we're pretty much there's no more we can do for you, and then just we go as young as like 4th grade.
So
depending on the event.
You do all sports?
No, just basketball.
Just basketball. So kind of like you go around and do AAU tournaments. You host AAU tournaments, or you come to AAU tournaments to see children.
No, we host AAU tournaments. We host different leagues: Winter League, Fall League, Summer League. We host a high school showcase called the Uptown Hoop Fest, where we take all the teams in the northwest part of the city, match them up against a comparable opponent. Something we do for the community, for the inner high DC community at large, and different things like that. We also implementing like a coaches clinic, and something new, which is I'm giving to y'all first exclusive here because I like y'all, which is something we got called a players and parents clinic. So as coaches want to become better coaches, parents want to learn the business as well, to eliminate like the handlers and people you hear about like that, and players want to hear from other players like how they got there, because the thing that's often missing is that people believe that it's just the talent, and that's where like the tagline more than basketball comes in, because it's the politics and the opportunity and the preparation and the everything that comes together in one like perfect storm is something that like it's not afforded to anybody. It's almost like a person that lives anywhere could have started Microsoft, but it just didn't happen to live in Seattle and have rich parents who could put them in front of a computer.
Okay, absolutely.
What made you decide to undertake this endeavor?
I started off, lucky for me, I saw Above the Rim, the movie. It's probably like 7 or 8 years old, and I was like, I would love to do something like that in my community. They had like a little outdoor basketball tournament. I would love to do something like that in my community, but I realized like there was no exposure factors there because of the lack of structure, it was more community based, but it wasn't like something that like could actually take them and put them in front of the people that could help them in their lives.
There's no infrastructure.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say infrastructure. I would say more so because I respect community based events, but it just wasn't the platform that they could take a kid who's relatively unknown and get them college scholarship opportunities or offers. So I try to just like switch it up a little bit, but that was like the founding motivation.
Okay. Yeah. I wish you was around because that's what happened in my basketball career. Not my career.
Okay, yeah, we talked about that before. I'm not gonna go back there with you. Okay. So now you made me lose my train of thought.
Did it purposely.
Was that him or was that me?
No, that was him.
Oh, okay.
He made me lose it.
You
were saying as far as being able to put them in front of the right people. What type of people, or how did you go about finding these connections, or what type of connections do you have, whether it's college, pros, whatever it is that your company is able to do?
Well, that's like an interesting story. To consolidate it, basically I started off like running around like as a youth, early to mid-teens, asking 1,000,001 questions. Like I would go to a basketball tournament and I would like pull the person in charge aside, like, yo, I want to do that. How can I do that? Where would I find referees? How would I rent a facility? To the point where like I got tagged with the nickname Q&A by the time I was like 17. Okay. They're like, there go Q&A right there. He's gonna come ask us 1,000,000 questions, just hanging around. And then I got some once I graduated high school, a friend of mine told me about a Georgetown basketball camp. And I could be a camp counselor at their summer camp. They have like different coaches and people like that. And they have a lot of in between, like, you know, camps and sessions and stuff. You can really pick people's brain and build relationships. So I was able to meet like Big John Thompson and JT3 and those guys like very early. And they almost kind of like raised me in the business and gave me like a lot of game, a lot of relationships and a validity in that profile. It's like almost like I'm like their guy, like their little guy. Like they come through my events and stuff. Like my parents actually met them. So it's like, that was kind of like what gave me the network or the validity to even pursue trying to like at a younger age trying to like start my own company and like get you know the relationship with the coaches and the scouts and the sports media, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of how like that started. From there, while I was in college working different events, blah blah blah, like, and just building from there. Like I said, asking a bunch of questions as I went along and just keeping in touch.
Who'd you play for?
Well, I didn't play for anybody. I always tell people I was, and when I was younger, I was really like a product of my environment. You know, I really was one of those guys thought it was cool to be like, not so much like in the streets like violently, but more so like chasing females, partying, going to parties, worrying about getting fly, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that was really more my focus at that time. It wasn't until I went to college, I went to FAMU, Florida A&M, when I really like got focused and was like, this is what I'm really, really gonna do this. It went from like a passion to like an actual hustle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that befell a lot of young brothers, or befalls a lot of young brothers when, you know, it's hip to be hip and, you know, chilling on the block and of course chasing the ladies. And we used to try to get them out there on the field or on the courts. Man, why don't you put that energy to use? And after a little while, if you don't do it, it's kind of hard to get to it a little bit later. So I'm glad you had that opportunity to roll in there. I'm going to ask you briefly before we take a next station break and get ready to wrap things up and bring on my last buddy for the day. I want to ask you your vision for the future. Kind of give me an outline of where you're going. I think you've done some things online. Tell us a little bit about that and tell us a little bit about where you're heading.
Well, you know, honestly, my approach to the basketball business is kind of like how some of my heroes, which were like guys I looked up to in like the entertainment industry, like Sean Puffy Combs, you know, Jay-Z, Russell Simmons, guys like that. Those are the guys that I saw that were like kind of like me, you know, meaning like they were like executives. You know what I mean?
So
like,
you like the business side.
Exactly, the administrative business side. Like I looked at guys like that, and I saw like how they diversified their portfolios through film, through fashion, through, you know. So I took the same steps. I recently did a documentary on a popular DC outfit called DC Assault. I'm not sure if you know.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so
they ran into a little snag there.
Exactly, they're no longer in existence anymore. So we kind of like told the story, like the rise and fall, and like basically broke down like all the intricacies of our business, like the role that the shoe companies play, the roles that agencies play, the roles that college coaches play. And like for anybody who knows the story, the person who founded the organization is incarcerated right now on drug charges. And it just basically posed the question, like, if AAU basketball at large is going to look at him as a bad person, what do you call the people that he has on speed dial that you consider the good guys, that you see like coaching these like blue chip All-Americans or coaching at these prestigious institutions? Like, I've seen these guys pay for dinners. I've seen these guys, you know what I mean? Like, so if he's the bad guy and these guys are only a phone call away, then what are these guys? And y'all telling me these are the good guys. So it basically just breaks it down like that. So that was something that gave our company like a lot of profile.
Do you have any events that you're hosting for kids that they can come out to see that's coming up?
Yeah, we actually have 2 back-to-back AAU tournaments on May 14th and 15th, and May 21st and 22nd at Woodrow Wilson High School. Then we have our summer league, which starts, and we do that at Wilson too. And you know, Wilson is the home of the DC summer school. Like a lot of those kids, after they got out of summer school, wait around for like half an hour and just come to the gym, watch the games, just something to do, keep them off the streets.
Okay.
So it's like kind of populated in there. A lot of kids come out, and it's right across from the station, so very accessible, right by Tinley Town Station. So.
Okay.
So how do folks connect with you to find out more about what you have going on in May and during the summer?
Best way to focus on me. I'm not too hard to find, but you can connect with me online. I mean, I'm not a big like internet guy, but I do have a presence there. Okay. Arize, you know, type in Arize. I'm sure
can you
will come
spell
out.
that?
Arize, like zebra E.
Okay.
Do you have an email address or phone number you feel like giving out to the rest of us so we can harass you?
I got a publicist who got all that stuff.
Okay, so can you put us in touch with your publicist?
If you go on Twitter, Instagram, ask Kirby Carroll, which is ASK. So like basically, if you want to ask about Arize, you can ask Kirby Carroll, KirbyCarroll. So that's like the person who connected us here, as a matter of fact, today. So.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Kirby. She's dynamic. We're going to bring her in too. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to pay some bills, and then we're going to be done. But I want to make sure when the show's over, you talk to my agent, Reggie, because if you're going to be having these events, you need to promote those events. And this is a great place, very inexpensive, very affordable for you to promote your events. And we'd be more than happy because Reds is a big basketball guy. He's somebody you need to connect with. Hey, folks, take a quick station break, only for about 72 seconds, and we'll be right back. Sit tight.
1, 2, 3.